No! 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 Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Pop Culture Caravan. This is your host, Hutch, joined by my fellow co-hosts, Joey and Chilupe. Say hi, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
And this week, we are going to be talking about Andor, Season 1.
I don't think my opinions are going to be... I don't think you guys are going to like my opinions. I'm normally like a huge Star Wars fan, but I'm going to be honest, this show bored the out of me. It got really good at certain parts, but like I always like the political aspect when I see it tie in with the bigger picture, but there was so much shit going on that was like, this is moving a little slow. Like, it was a little slow for Joe. My tiny attention span was having trouble.
Right, because it's like so many things are happening, but nothing is happening.
Yes, exactly.
It's a lot of downtime and world building and a lot of things going on in the background.
Which I don't dislike when people do that with their stories. I just am not a fan of when the theme is like of such a political nature, because that's what it's all about. It's about this rebellion sparking up and whatnot. We already know this shit for Star Wars. Like, it's cool and like it's impressive world building, but it just felt boring because I was like, I've seen this 500 times in all these different Star Wars projects.
You bring up a good point, because I feel like in almost all Star Wars stories, especially in this time frame, it's always about how do we get to the rebellion? How do we start up the rebellion? Even Rogue One was how do we get the rebellion started so we can destroy the Death Star? And we find out at the end of the season what he was building in prison was the stuff for the Death Star.
Which I did think that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
At least to show that, like, you know, them putting into context what exactly the prison was for, seeing the actual machine that he built every day. Like, he essentially helped build the weapon that's gonna kill him one day.
Damn, I forgot that.
Maybe I just like the darker theme of it, but the reveal of the twist of, yeah, that outrageously long sentence you got, just kidding, it's actually, this is a death camp, you're never actually leaving here. I really liked that.
It's funny you mentioned the prison arc specifically, right? Because I think that is my favorite arc of the series. I think the show can be broken into 4 arcs, right? You have the beginning arc where it's like him leaving Ferrix and kind of starting off on his adventure. Then you have the whole heist arc, the prison arc, and then it finishes off with the finale where they kind of just tie everything together.
Yeah.
And for me, the prison was the best part of the show. If this show was just the prison episodes, I would have been fine with it. I would have said this is a great show.
I somewhat agree with you.
And who doesn't love seeing Andy Serkis?
Right? Seeing him again in Star Wars blew me away.
One way out.
Arguably one of the best speeches in all of Star Wars.
I like how he took that from Andor, where he's like, I'd rather die fighting them than helping them.
The last we see of his character, you know, being left behind, the heartbreaking I can't swim. Oof. It broke me.
What a dumb way to die.
It was, though.
What a dumb reason. Like, I love that because it was like they kind of made him like you hated him but you loved him at the same time, because he's this asshole who's like, you are going to be in line. And then they kind of propped him up to be a badass, and then he dies in the stupidest way. He can't swim.
Well, does he even die? I mean, I think he's just kind of got left behind. What's to say of whatever happened to his fate? Sure, he probably might have been killed, or maybe he was just shuffled off to some other prison camp. There might have been other prisoners who couldn't swim.
And then they got worked to death or killed for insubordination.
Yeah.
You know, another personal gripe of mine. Where the f*** are the aliens? Why are they all humans? Like, it's a big galaxy, and there's plenty of humanoid aliens. Like, surely, you know, you would throw in, you know, some either Rhodians, some Ugnaughts, some Wookiees, something, Trandoshans, I don't know.
We only have 15 million to work with, man. It couldn't cover it.
Those puppets are freaking expensive, dude. Each hair on a Wookiee suit costs like $3,000, dude. Can we please talk about freaking Cyril, dude? I hated that character so much.
The biggest simp in all of Star Wars.
Dude, I literally have that typed out in my notes.
Help me out, boys. I I kind of forgot who Cyril was.
Public safety, dude.
Oh,
The
God.
guy who's like, oh, Andor killed 2 men, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna literally just stalk him for like 4 months.
Then he falls in love with Deidre.
Yeah, he's like, ma'am, you're in a position of power above me, and I kind of like that. So that's what the real takeaway. If you like a girl, all you have to do is just stalk her relentlessly. Eventually, she'll like you back, right? Like, that's the big takeaway.
I just wanted to say thank you, my lady.
I followed you for 4 blocks. Do you like me now?
I came to your place of work unannounced.
I just closed my eyes. It followed the smell of your shampoo. Cyril, why do you have a hate boner for this Andor guy? You've looked him up 53 times in 2 hours. What the f***? I thought that was kind of funny. Like, that dude's obsessive as hell.
Yeah. That's another thing with this character. Like, he was too obsessed.
He really was.
It's one thing if he knew those 2 guys, but no, he really acted like Andor killed his brothers.
Dude, I specifically hate the scenes with his mother in it. Where she's like, Uncle Harlo. Uncle Harlo will be so pleased.
I could not stand her voice.
I was like, Jesus, someone get the freaking death sticks out of her mouth.
I felt so bumped out of the story every time we cut back to his character. I'm like, I do not care, nor do we need to know what's going on with his character. Now, they could play around with him in season 2. Maybe he'll get some more action then, we'll see. But for now, did not care for his character.
Honestly, I can see him in later seasons, like, getting a promotion and actually starting to climb the ranks.
Yeah, I would be more interested in seeing who the hell Uncle Harlo is at this point, because, I mean, he seems to have more influence. I will say, I equally was uninterested in Mon Mothma.
I see where you're coming from, Joe. I see why you would have gotten bored with those plot lines, because it's very much more back into, like, you know, the prequel politics stuff. There's a lot that's done with her character, I think, you know, in terms of building the rebellion, showing the compromising of, like, morals to even start a rebellion. You know, this woman has to basically give away her own daughter.
Commenting on that stuff, because, like, I'm a big fan of, like, more political shows, like Game of Thrones, House of Cards kind of things. Although I liked seeing her scenes, I feel like there was just a lot that could have been done. Like, I feel like we could have seen more actual political maneuvering, her in the Senate more than just a couple times.
Yeah, it seemed to be more about her, you know, just trying to hide the money, and then her family drama, which ultimately
Didn't do much.
didn't really get resolved.
I mean, I guess she did marry her daughter, so.
Her husband, Perkins, or whatever the hell his name is like, got a gambling addiction and lies about it. It's like, that's...
Ooh, critical storytelling.
I was confused as to why that was brought up at the very end. I think that's Mon Mothma trying to throw some shade towards her husband, so if the Imperials do notice irregularities in her finances, he takes the hit.
I did pick up on that.
Her plot was just, it just wasn't that exciting. I love seeing her, but I wish she could have done so much more.
Luthen's the type of motherfucker that'd be like, we gotta kill Luke Skywalker. The rebellion's putting too much of their faith in him.
Probably.
Han Solo's unreliable. Chewbacca's got fleas. They all gotta go. Like,
He was honestly the best character in the show, the most interesting. I think it's really cool to have this character who's just like, yeah, I'm here for noble, you know, reasons, but I am doing the, you know, most vile shit to, you know, win. I'm playing as dirty as the Empire, pretty much.
I don't know. The character was definitely an interesting one. I would have loved to see him more in the series, but I think that's probably how they kept him interesting, by keeping him a little bit more mysterious.
Yeah, I think his character was just interesting to me because you never knew what he was going to do next. He has a couple scenes with Saw Gerrera. Great to see his character again. But I love their dynamic. You know, Saw Gerrera does have a reputation of being an asshole too. Like, you know, he's a guerrilla fighter.
Yeah.
And even the rest of the rebellion doesn't want to work with him in Rogue One. But that guy, right? He just, like, leaves a bunch of collateral damage. Luthen, he'll actively, you know, kill his own men if he has to accomplish his goals. This guy's ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
His ship, though. Luthen's ship. When he has that badass action sequence where he takes down that whole, you know, like, patrol cruiser by himself.
He can fight, which I was surprised, especially in, like, the first episode when he comes in the cane. I was like, oh, who's this old guy? But no, he can fight.
The vibe I got was, like, basically Star Wars Old Man Batman. He's got a contingency plan for everything. He's got a double life. He's got all the cool toys. Come on.
I see it, now I'm set.
Yeah, okay, dude, did anybody else get really pissed off with that stuttering droid? Where it's like, Marva.
I loved him.
Marva. I wanted to smack it on the back of the head and be like, today, Junior. Like, come on. Like,
Yep.
like all the time it was stuttering. It's I'm still charging. It's like, this is like the Walter Jr. of droids, dude.
We're gonna take her out in a minute if you want to say goodbye.
You're completely out of your mind.
I'll have them clear the room if you want to be alone.
You know what? This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
I did like seeing the droid in Marva, though. Marva's character was pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. She had more weight with the... I feel like it was kind of like all after she died. Like, she was she was upset and kind of voiced a little bit of her anger towards the Empire, and then she died, and then they played the message, and she was like, "Fight the Empire, fucking kill him!"
It's good to know that Andor's buddies got off the planet, but everyone who stays on Ferrix, they're fucked. You best believe the Empire is locking that shit down.
Actually, can we talk about the Empire? Because if there's one thing I did like about this show, it's everything they did, like displaying the Empire. Kind of the personalities, the characters within it, how they run it.
This is probably the most menacing the Empire has been in a long ass time. Between, the floor is lava prison, the headphones that make you want to kill yourself, and all the other atrocities. Dude.
Just the taxes they raised after they got robbed. They said, no, everyone. Even just when Cassian's on vacation or whatever, and he just gets stopped and arrested just because the one dude didn't like how he looked, essentially.
The Empire's full of racists if the Nazi parallels weren't strong enough. I also think those headphones were probably playing Baby Shark on a loop.
We ready? Let's get on with it.
In like the first, what is it, episode 3, 4, maybe 5, when the meteor shower, whatever that meteor shower was.
Oh, you're talking about the eye?
Yes.
Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Yeah, that, honestly, the most beautiful thing I might have seen in Star Wars. Like, just visually very impressive.
Second for me. The first will always be when they light speed the ship into the other ship.
Disgusting! Get out!
Beautiful!
No!
Chilupe said that just knowing he was going to enrage. Visually impressive, yes. But that Holdo maneuver, no, it doesn't make sense. It was visually impressive, but it shouldn't have been done.
Alright, on that same planet during the eye.
The heist.
When they're like loading everybody into a ship. Yeah, during the heist. When the 2 black guys died, I did turn my head a bit. I was like, there goes the one. Wait, give it 5 seconds. Oh, there goes the second one.
They killed the 2 black guys first. Oh, I noticed that too.
That's awful, man.
That same scene though, the kid who gets crushed by
my
the one
God.
crate.
I thought he was gonna be crippled, not actually die.
The balls this series has to just kill people off. Like, people die in this show left and right, and it's very nice to see.
And it feels very real for this world.
It is a little refreshing.
It feels like a Star Wars.
There wasn't anyone that was walking around with like plot armor.
Yeah. I did like the way the finale sort of felt like, a sort of like bomb about to explode. Like, we knew shit was about to go down, just the amount of tension they build. Very, very cleverly done, I think.
Yeah.
You literally have everyone from the show pretty much in the same area at the same time.
I like the feeling of the tension.
Andor as a character, what do we think of this guy? Because honestly, the fact that we got through the whole show and then are just now talking about this guy tells me that this guy is very forgettable.
Yeah. He had that one cool moment in the prison that I've already mentioned where he's like, I'd rather die fighting them than helping them. But then Kino steals that shit immediately and makes a speech, so it's kind of like, I also think that for him to be like, kill me or take me in, like, what a dramatic stance. Like, this dude, for someone who just said he would die fighting to not be someone's, like, prison bitch, essentially, to then kind of flop and be like, well, let me join or just blow my brains out.
A little inconsistent.
It is a very awkward line at the end with Luthen, and I felt like their interaction was just like, oh, that's how it's gonna end? Oh shit, okay.
To be honest, it really did take me aback when the credits rolled after that.
Yeah, what was with this series? It would always end episodes at the goofiest f***ing spots, man.
For the viewers that know, it really felt like it was just ending with like the JoJo's to be continue.
Put that thing down, catch our breath, split up the winnings.
I enjoyed watching him in the beginning, though. I feel like in the first, let's say, 5 episodes, all the way through the heist, I think it showed on who he was as a person, and then as the story kept going, they kind of just backtracked on that. And it was more important about the world building than him.
I don't know, I was so bored the first 3 episodes just following him around. The first 3 episodes, you could probably condense that into like 1, maybe 2 episodes, probably 2.
Oh yeah, I could say 2.
So I agree with both of you. It was boring as shit, but it did show a lot more of his personality when he was like just a thief that just got drugged into some shit. But I think that speaks a lot to their failure to transition him successfully into like a fighter for the rebel cause, because you see him as a thief where his personality is really well shaped out. It's kind of boring, but at least they've developed his character really well. And then it just fades and gets murky while everything's getting interesting, and they're trying to push him into the rebellion.
The flashbacks to him and his father, I did think were nice. I like how he did have a stable connection with both of his parents, and there was actual love there.
When you needed a character to have motivation, just kill their family off screen.
The Disney way.
Nothing motivates like a dead dad.
What did you guys think of the whole, plotline that got dropped of his sister?
Yeah, okay, I was very confused on where the sister went, to be honest.
Yeah, they dropped that plot real quick.
At one point, I think it was Marva that was like, stop looking for her. And it really seems like he's like, okay. Because like, it doesn't come up again. I've built that up to make it sound like it's been my motivation for my entire life up until this point. But alright, I'll drop it.
Now, my to be honest, my biggest issue with the show was even in Rogue One, I liked him, but I never thought this was a character. Oh, this is a character I can follow a series on. Like, he feels like a great side character. I never would have mentioned him as a main character. And now that the show came out, I feel like I'm doubling down on that.
Out of the whole Rogue One crew, he is the last character I was interested in seeing a solo series on.
Right? I want to see the one dude. Bring me the blind man.
Sure,
I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me.
Yes.
Imagine seeing a full series about blind kung fu monk in Star Wars. So good. So good.
Would have loved it.
You know a character I was expecting to show up but never did? K2SO.
Yes, same.
They showed one of those droids briefly in Andor.
Yeah, I thought we were about to meet him. I was like, oh damn, that's cool. You get to see how they meet, but maybe that's a season 2 thing.
Yeah.
The one guy he gets out of prison with, Melshi. We have seen him one other time in Star Wars already, and it's in Rogue One. He actually participates in the Battle of Scarif at the end. He's leading like a platoon of rebel troops.
Oh, that is really cool. I didn't realize that. Now, to be honest, after watching the show, I will be watching Rogue One again.
Yeah, I need to as well.
I need that closure.
You're looking for closure in Rogue One? What?
Guess I'm watching all of Star Wars then.
I want to see the world through your eyes, Chilupe.
So overall, I thought season 1 of Andor exciting in terms of world building, but there's a lot of characters and plot points that definitely needed fleshed out and polished off more, and some pacing issues overall with the series. But I thought it was engaging enough. There were cool enough sequences. Very impressive first for Star Wars. I'd give this show a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very pretty looking show, very technically impressive, but certain story things just didn't work for me.
I enjoyed the show, and when season 2 comes out, I will definitely watch it. I think I am invested. Although, from a story aspect, a bit of world building, it did not impress me enough. I think I would give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Man, I'm over here, and I listened to Hutch say 7 out of 10, and I was like, yeah, that's more generous than I'd be. And then he went 4.5. Whew! I'd honestly say I am probably somewhere around a 5, maybe 6 out of 10. We'll say 5.5, cut in the middle. I thought there were some scenes that they really knocked out of the park. But I'm not gonna crucify the show. The pacing made it feel boring, right? So like, I'm not gonna crucify it for that because it wasn't bad. It just wasn't super. It wasn't able to hold my attention the entire time.
This is a show I think that definitely isn't for everyone. If you like methodical world building, then you'll like this show. But if you're looking for a lot more character work or more action scenes, this show is not for you. This show maybe had, 5 action scenes total?
I did enjoy those action scenes though, because usually in Star Wars, just a bunch of lasers flying past everybody while everyone's screaming. But no, people were dropping.
I think it's some of the best action we've had in recent Star Wars. I was just disappointed we didn't get more of it.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening. This was the Pop Culture Caravan's review of Andor Season 1. Catch you guys next time.
Bing! Bang! Oh.